All right, let's go ahead and walk through the 5 power hooks that you can use in your content to help you generate more inbound leads. And so we're going to go ahead and dive in, and I'm going to give you a bit more than just the 5 hooks, because transparently, like when it comes down to you putting out content into the world, if you want to get more inbound traffic, you have to make sure that your messaging's on point. You have to make sure that you're using the right words in the right way to the right people. And so I'm going to show you how to take these hooks and how to infuse really good messaging into them, so that not only with these hooks, but just in general, you can start getting better results from your content. And so if you're down with that, then keep on watching. And so there's a whole plan here that you can have. This is your book, your guide. You can use this at will. And so the whole concept of these hooks here, it's based off of like psychology and storytelling principles, which I'm not going to bore you with the details here. I'm just going to show you like how you can implement this into your actual current content that you're doing. And these will, when you do these correctly and you're following exactly what I'm saying right now, you will start to see an uptick in more people, the right people, commenting on your content and reaching out to you in the DMs. And so here's a quick reference of some of the quote unquote hooks. That's the word I'm looking for, the hooks that you can have as a quick reference. And so we're going to dive into how to make these things work, and then we'll unpack the hooks in more detail. And so firstly, you want to be able to tap into your ideal client psychology. Whenever I'm coming up with hooks, I am thinking about the dream client that I want to serve. Because the mistake that I see a lot of people making, and maybe it's not a mistake to them, I don't know, but it's a mistake to me, is that people are either in one of 3 categories. Firstly, they're either in the I'm getting no engagement on my content. Number 2 is they are getting engagement, but the lead quality isn't super high, so they're not converting a lot of people. Number 3 is they are getting engagement, they are getting plenty of lead flow, but they're not predictably booking calls and making sales. And it's more outbound focused. So they're like really pushing to get the outbound, and they're not getting as many inbound people, meaning people responding to their CTAs, people reaching out to them into DMs, people opting into their stuff. And so to get more people to do those things, right, you have to tap into your dream client psychology. And so we're going to cover 3 things on this, right? Firstly, are your people, are they starting, right? Are they starting their journey? Are they struggling, or are they surging? I had to find an S word that kind of goes with this. So starting would be like, so let's use weight loss, for example. It'd be like somebody just starting off in their journey. They're a couch potato. They're trying to figure out, they're not even going to the gym yet. Struggling might be somebody going to the gym, but they're not seeing the results they want, or they keep, bouncing up and down with weight. And surging would be somebody doing like Spartan races, right? Or, training for a fitness competition. In business, this would be like somebody starting their business, somebody in business, but they're struggling to get consistent revenue, or somebody that's crushing it with revenue, but now they need help with like a team and stuff like that. Now, so if we look at that, we need to start thinking about, where is your ideal client? Are they starters, strugglers, or surgers? And then if you think about the Maslow hierarchy of needs, there is going to be survival needs that people have. There's going to be like thrive needs after their survival needs are taken care of. And then there's going to be dream needs, okay? Very important distinction here. I see a lot of people putting so much time into either A, they're talking to beginners when their ideal clients are strugglers, and or B, they are focusing on thrive needs when their ideal clients are literally living in survival needs. And the ironic thing here is, a survival need to one person, right? So a survival need to somebody that's like, say, struggling is going to be different than somebody that's starting. Somebody that's starting, it's like, how do I, what gym do I go to? That could be a survival need for them. Well, how do I work out? A struggling need for somebody's like, how do I lose this last 20 pounds of belly fat? That's a survival need for somebody, right? For somebody starting, they're like, how do I just lose weight? Like, tell me how to lose weight, period, right? So they're different, and knowing where your dream client is important. So if you think about it, and I want you to think about it, where is your dream client? Are they starters, strugglers, or surgers? What stage are they in? And then what are their survival needs? How do I lose that last 20 pounds of belly fat is a survival need from usually somebody struggling. How do I get consistent 20, 30, 40, 50K months? That's a survival need for somebody that's struggling in business. Thrive need might be, how do I lift heavier weights? Or Do I need an appointment setter? How do I get in shape for a bikini comp is a dream need, right? Somebody they're not going to like, that's a dream for somebody. How do I keep more profit each month? That's a dream need for a lot of people, right? 90% of your time when you're creating hooks and content should speak to survival needs, okay? So let's go ahead and I'm going to break down just a few principles, and then we'll walk through some of the different hooks. And so firstly, enter the conversation already in your prospect's mind. A lot of famous marketers have said this, but basically you want to start where your dream client's thoughts and concerns already are. Like your hooks should tap into the conversation, worries, desires, and needs that are already inside of their head, right? When you align your message, your content with their internal dialogue, you're going to immediately get better results. Secondly is identify the stage of awareness. There's a book that I read called Breakthrough Advertising by a copywriter and marketer named Eugene Schwartz, and he unpacks these 5 levels of awareness, right? There's unaware people. They have no knowledge or anything about. They're not admitting they have a problem, for the most part. Problem aware people, they're aware they have a problem, but they're not aware about. They're not sure what the solution is. Then you have solution aware people. They know that a solution exists. They're just not aware of your solution personally. Then you have product aware people. They recognize that you have a solution, that you have a service or a program, but they're not convinced that it's right for them. And then most aware, this is going to be people that know that you have a program, know that you have a service or a product. They just need to know what the details are. They need to know the dealio, you know? And so a lot of like really good content is going to typically, especially on Facebook or Instagram, is going to speak to the top 3. And you'll see more in like video sales letters or masterclasses and workshops and lead magnets and the sales process. Well, a lot of times, you know, you'll put more emphasis into the bottom. And so your hook should be tailored to the specific stage your audience is in. Does that make sense? Dope. Let me know if there's any questions. And then number 3 here on these principles, hook principles, is you want to give a promise of value. Your hook should literally showcase to the reader the value they're about to get. Plain and simple. Number 4 is specificity sells. Don't be vague. The more specific you can be with numbers, outcomes, timeframes, emotional states, the more compelling your hook becomes. Your audience just doesn't want another outcome, right? They're looking for a specific outcome, like lose 20 pounds of belly fat that's hanging over your belt before your next work conference. That's very specific. The more specific you can be, the more you're going to tap into their subconscious mind, which is going to in turn automatically make them think and feel that you can solve their problems. And number 5 is amplifying the pain and desire. There was a running joke. I was helping this fitness brand. They have a big YouTube channel. Their name is Critical Bench. Awesome guys. And I remember being in their like break room, and we were working on some of the YouTube videos. And they had a running joke on like the whiteboard. And anytime I walked in, they'd be like, "Oh, we know. We gotta work on the pain or desire," right? And there's a lot of truth to that, because I see a lot of people they're not getting super specific, and they're not really hooking people in around the right pains and the right desires. And so you want to be able to do this and use these principles, but in a way that feels unique and urgent. Does that make sense? And so here's how they make that happen. Firstly, there's curiosity, right? You want to make sure that you have some elements of curiosity in some of your hooks. You know, and I'm not going to read through all of this. You can read through this on your own, but just understand that curiosity is creating a gap between what your audience knows and what they want to know. You know, I just did a email the other day on a video that I created, and it was like, are you stuck? It was like feeling stuck between 10 and 30K per month. Here's what to do about it, or something like that. So anybody that's stuck between 10 and 30K per month, that trusts that I'm going to give them the value, they're going to be curious. They're going to want to click on that. Okay? And so different ways that you can do it are right here. The second element of a really good hook is emotion. Can you connect on an emotional level? Emotions will drive action. So by tapping into the feelings your audience has right now, aka their survival needs, it's going to create a deeper connection, and it's going to transcend into it's going to transcend into more engagement, into more lead flow. And here's some different triggers that you can use. One thing I want to paint here, this is something that I learned from a producer on American Ninja Warrior, is you want to get vivid whenever you're bringing in stories. Stories are the best way, it's called a story hook. They're the best way to be able to get people in, into the content. And you want to use a multi-sensory experience, right? You want to use vivid language, make it multi-sensory, right? You can even like include people in, and I'm going to show you in a second, like some keywords that you can use. There's some key phrases, but this is a really important trigger. It's to be able to make it multi-sensory, make people experience it with you, feel it, see it, like smell it, touch it. As much sensory as you can bring in, the better, right? Relevant. Can you tie in something that's applicable and timely, right? Something that is will resonate with people and is relevant to your audience. So just different ways that you can create relevance are right here. And then surprise. Can you add some unexpectedness or some novelty, right? Can you do something that's just different, that maybe adds your unique perspective and thoughts on it? And so I did a training not too long ago, and if you're interested in it, I could find it. Just shoot me a message on Facebook or Instagram on like really coming up with some novel kind of unexpected hooks. But you know, if you think about things that might be unusual facts, right, or counterintuitive, like here's how my client Mary went to Starbucks every day, got a croissant and a coffee, and still she shed 35 pounds. What? Right? Here like my best clients are actually eating more food, not less, and they're losing weight like crazy. Right? Something that's like counterintuitive, right? Here's why you shouldn't actually here's why you shouldn't go to the gym if you like teach at home, right? I don't know. And so you want to incorporate things like, you know, think about how you can like speak against common industry myths that you don't believe in, or widespread beliefs people have. Okay. And then the last thing here is activity. Look back at successful pieces of content that you've done and identify hooks that you've used. You want to model what works. I see so many of us, myself included, that will have success with something and then we like just don't use it again. We just kind of forget. So in creating powerful hooks, and then we'll go into these 5. Hopefully this has been super helpful for you. But you want to focus either on problem, right? Pain, problem, desire, aspiration, and then I have what's called theme. This could be like a kind of a novel idea. And so very generally speaking, if you start with like a basic hook, you could be like, are you struggling to lose weight? And to get more specific and novel, we could say, are you sick of starting yet another weight loss program to try to lose that same 30 pounds every month? For the desire, aspiration, here's how to lose weight. To make it more unique, it's like, here's exactly how to wake up every morning, look in the mirror, and see your abs coming through. All right? That's a pretty good hook. The theme, and there's different themes that you can use here, but this is where I like to really infuse more of my perspective. So it's like, here's how to do this thing. So here's how I lost 33 pounds of belly fat in under 93 days. Here's how my client, Susie, got XYZ result. And so some different things that you could do is the how I, a memory or lesson that you've had, what your core belief is on a topic. My core belief on cardio is this. My core belief on content is this. Why I don't. So why I don't do cardio much. Why I don't post content every day. Why I don't cold DM. Right? Specific result and outcome. I just demonstrated that here. And this could also be a client, right? Difference between this or that. The difference between paid ads and organic. The difference between cardio and strength training. And this is like challenging a commonly held thing. It could be like, have you heard you're supposed to do cardio every day? Well, I'm telling you, you actually don't. Have you heard you're supposed to post every day? I'm here to actually tell you why posting less is better. And then speaking to a situation that your ideal clients would be facing. Right? If you don't want to skip your Starbucks route every day, I'll show you how. You can eat whatever, right? You get my point? And so the whole point is to go from general to specific and start to add your unique perspectives into these hooks. And so lastly here, let's break down these 5 power hooks. So taking everything that you just learned, let's go ahead and plug it in. So first one is, here's what no one tells you about common problem. Why this works is it triggers curiosity, and it's going to position you as somebody that knows some kind of insider information, right? Your audience is going to feel like they're getting the real truth from you. and not some recycled advice that they probably have gotten thousands of times. You see what I'm saying? So some examples of how I've used this is, here's what no one tells you about getting consistent clients online. Here's what no one tells you about scaling to 20K per month. Here's what no one tells you about losing stubborn belly fat. Here's what no one tells you about meal plans that work long term. You see? And so a pro tip here is to use this when busting myths, or what I call influence content, or revealing a lesson that you or a client has learned the hard way. Secondly, the second hook here is, if you're struggling with pain point, read this. This works really well because it speaks directly to your audience's current struggle, and it makes it impossible for them to scroll past. And it feels personalized and urgent, just like you wrote it for them. So the secret here is really making sure that you're speaking to the right pain points. So some examples are, if you're struggling to book sales calls consistently, read this. If you're tired of DMing 50 people a day with no results, read this. If you're struggling to lose weight despite working out, read this. If you're tired of starting over with your weight loss every Monday, read this. So a pro tip here is to follow up with a story and or framework that solves the problem specifically, right? This is really, really good when you can tie in a personal story or a client story or some kind of framework that you teach. Number 3, the mistake that costs me, insert pain point, and how you can avoid it. So this works well because people love to learn from mistakes, right? Especially if it saves them time, money, and big one, embarrassment. If it saves them embarrassment, right? This helps people get over that kind of fear of failure. And the desire for shortcuts that people have. This actually works really well too for a sales. You can use this as like a story for like sales objections. Like the mistake. Here's the mistake that cost me 10K, and I'm gonna show you how to avoid it, right? Here's the mistake that keeps me stuck, or here's the mistake that kept me stuck at 5K per month, and the simple shift or the simple marketing plan that changed everything. You know, here's the mistake that stalled my fat loss and how you can avoid it. Here's the workout mistake that made me gain weight instead of losing it. And so pro tip here is be authentic, and the more relatable the mistake, the more engaging the post is going to be for people. Number 4, this is a powerful one. Imagine waking up to desired outcome without painful struggle. ... So why this works is it paints a vivid picture in the life your audience wants, and it removes obstacles they hate, right? And when you use words like imagine, or imagine this, or think about this for a second, or picture this for a moment, right? These create this kind of imaginative, it activates in our brains the things that drive action, imagination, and emotions. And so some ways that I've used this are, imagine waking up to 5 client inquiries without sending a single cold DM. Imagine hitting 20K months consistently without feeling burned out, right? Speaking to like hiring a team. Imagine waking up feeling energized and confident without crash diets. Imagine feeling strong and fit without sacrificing your favorite foods. So a pro tip here is make the outcome specific and relatable to your ideal client. I see so many people butcher this. Either they're speaking to like the general niche and they're not really getting super niche on the problem, right? Or the result. Or it's just not super relatable to people, right? So you want to make sure it's relatable, right? So like I could say, imagine hitting 100K months, right? This is something that I have personally achieved. And that would resonate with some people. But I know most people are going to resonate with like if I said the word 20 to 30K or 20 to 40K, right? And so, you know, I could say, imagine waking up to 6-pack abs. That might be a dream need, never going back, or a thrive need. Versus like imagine losing that 20 pounds and feeling amazing. Like that's going to speak more to like a survival need. You see? And then lastly, the exact process, strategy, plan, model, system that I use to achieve desired result. Why this works is people love proven processes. And this phrase, this hook, promises a clear step-by-step insight that into something that already works. So it helps reduce their fear of failure, right? The exact content strategy I used to sign 11 clients in 30 days. Or one that I recently used. So so I just had a client, 2 clients. Well, Patty I just used this with. She signed 11 clients and made $25,000 in less than 2 weeks with one of her weight loss programs. And then Chris, with his weight loss program, just signed 17 clients and made like a little over 30K. And so I use this hook for those. So it could be a client too. The exact messaging framework that took me from inconsistent income to 30K months. The exact workout routine I used to lose 20 pounds without feeling deprived. The exact 3-step method I used to build a strong core without crunches, right? So pro tip here is break your process down into 3 to 5 simple actionable steps. I like using this with what I call like authoritative content. So if I'm trying to show social proof, or I'm trying to give some kind of like insights to people, or some kind of like step-by-step type stuff, this works really well. This hook kind of feeds into that. And so some bonus tips: use emoji sparingly, right? They catch attention, but don't overdo it. Like I kind of half jokingly say, like, write content on Facebook or Instagram like you're a mix between a 13-year-old girl that's enthusiastic and a kind of wise, authoritative mentor. You kind of blend those two together, right? Use short sentences that make big impact. You want to keep your phrasing snappy, right? So you could see here, short sentences, right? You can see not a lot of emojis, right? Short sentences, break free. You can see it, right? You get the point. You just don't want to make big paragraphs like you'd be writing for like a blog. Add a CTA. So I'll kind of play devil's advocate. This was advice that I used to give to a lot of people, and it is still advice that I give to people with conversion content, that you're like focused on conversions. You always want to add a clear call to action to anything that you want to make it convert. If you want somebody to DM you or download a lead magnet or whatever, or drop a comment, tell them. But I've actually come to the conclusion, just kind of based off of this last like year or so, that sometimes like it's cool to just like give, like Gary Vee says, jab, 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 then right hook, right? Give, then offer. It's to just like be conscious and mindful of like, sometimes just give don't ask for anything, just purely give people. And so kind of find that balance for you of not having to put a CTA, and that way people can just like consume really good content and not worry about being pitched. Even if it's like an indirect pitch, you know what I mean? Like, comment yes. So anyways, I took some of as a bonus, I took some of my best content and I put it into ChatGPT, and I had ChatGPT come up with these templates for you. So hopefully this helps even more. And final thought, don't just share information, right? Great content actually like pulls people in when you do it correctly. So try one of these. I'd love to hear your results. DM me and let me know. I'd love to hear. And so different ways you can connect with me. I have an ongoing newsletter that I'm putting out where we're sharing awesome videos and awesome content to just help you. So if you want to be on my email list, you can click here. YouTube, if you want to follow me on YouTube, I post a lot of good video content. Instagram and Facebook here. And then I don't know why I put this here. Oh, yeah, this is like our kind of model of how everything works and how we help scale coaches to 30 to 100K per month. So yeah, I'm not going to go into that, but I think I was going to do something here, but I forgot. Anyways, if you have any questions on this, let me know. Happy to help. Shoot me a DM if you want. I have plenty of trainings on like how to come up with really powerful messaging. I have trainings on our content strategy and how to build a content system versus just like one-off spray and pray type stuff. If you want to see anything around messaging, content, shoot me a DM and just be like, hey, I'd love to go deeper into getting my messaging dialed in, or shoot me a message saying I would love to go deeper into learning the content strategy, and I'll be more than happy to shoot you with a free training or see how I can help you. So with that being said, I hope you have an amazing day, and we'll chat soon. Bye for now.